Okay, you're at the Watchmen Way. April 5th, 2020. A lot of Q drops. Um, a lot of Q drops and a lot of discussion about uh, when this is all happening. Q, it would seem, is leading us to believe that a lot of things are happening this week. They talked about the booms. You know, we've got all this activity going around Hanks and Oprah and Ellen. Um, then we've got people like, I think it's X22 report, who are saying that nothing's going to happen until right before the election. Here's my take. Um, I talked a little bit about it last night, but it, number one, I don't think there's any way they can make these arrests, you know, a month before the election or a few weeks before the election. Um, President Trump has done a brilliant job of getting us through this process with very few casualties. Um, he's not going to blow it by doing something like that right before the election, which would certainly cause, I think, extreme civil unrest on the liberal side. Um, and there's no reason to do that. You know, you're either going to do it now, within the next, where are we at? First part of May. It's got to be before the end of June. I think at the latest. The sooner the better. We need some time between the swamp going down, because then the economy is going to be, you know, you can't, here's the other thing. You can't take Clinton, Obama, Bush, 160,000 sealed indictments, and think that the economy is going to survive that. So, would you rather do that now with 6 months before the election, or would you rather do it right before? It's a no-brainer. If you're going to do it this year, well, I mean, you could always wait till after the election. The problem is, guys, I don't know that the economy, I don't see how it can make it to the election. If they just let things go the way it's going, they're printing $1 trillion a month to keep the wheels turning here, to keep the economy from collapsing. They're printing $1 trillion a month. The problem is, if you keep doing that, we know what happens. It's hyperinflation. Every time throughout history that a country's overprinted their fiat currency, it's led to hyperinflation. Weimar Germany, Zimbabwe, Venezuela a couple of years ago. It's a mathematical certainty. So we go back to the next question. Do you let it collapse naturally with the chaos and panic that goes along with that? Or do you declare a reset where you're in control of what's going on? If you study President Trump at all, you know he's going to do it the most efficient way possible. It's the way he does everything, like a businessman does. He's not going to do this right before the election. It's a recipe for disaster that we don't need or want. So I disagree with X22. I don't see how, or why we would want to wait till after the election. So I'm thinking it's most likely these things are going to happen in the next 30 days. I can tell you for sure we are going to have a worldwide economic collapse in 2020. The swamp will drain, the worldwide swamp will drain in 2020. And the satanic pedophiles are going to be exposed in 2020. It could happen after the election. I don't think so. And I don't really care, is the bottom line. It's almost better, I think, if it doesn't. Because remember, the longer we can drag this out, the more people that we're going to red pill and prepare. Again, that's our job, right? We push to the end. And, I if that's what we have to do is go after the election, I'm good with that. We know things are happening now. You can't deny, if you've got an IQ over 50, you can't deny that there's something going on in the world. Even the sheep are starting to sense it. We talked about the cognitive dissonance. People are lashing out more. I was actually talking to a new member this afternoon who's noticing it herself. The anger in people. And yeah, it's going to probably get worse for a little bit. But remember, we have to consider why it's happening. These people are fearful. They're afraid. That's why they're lashing out. They know something's wrong, but they don't have the knowledge to figure it out. And really, we can say it's not their fault because it's not like the globalist agenda hasn't attacked all of these areas. This was engineered. They wanted to dumb us down. And if you look at our educational system over the last 75 years, they've done a pretty good job. Unfortunately, that's one of the things we're going to need to work on during this recovery is getting our educational system back on track. And I think, again, President Trump's been 10 steps ahead of these guys from day one, and I don't see anything that's going to change that. Again, extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. Get your money out of the bank. Get your money out of your 401k, money markets, annuities, anything on paper that you can pull money from, pull it. If you don't, you're going to lose it. I try and keep $100 in the bank, or less. I've got my money in Litecoin. I've got probably 100 Litecoin in Coinbase right now to live on. And most of my Litecoin is in my ledger. And again, if I make a transaction, I just did one this morning, 7:30 in the morning, in my account this afternoon. So you don't have to worry that you don't have money in the bank. If you've got money in Coinbase, that's your secondary bank account. Monday through Friday, you can get cash from a transaction into your bank account on the same day. So don't be afraid to go that route. Don't think like, well, I've got to keep a certain amount. I mean, you do to a certain degree, but only to pay your current bills. It's protected if it's in Coinbase. When these banks close, and they could close any time now, the same thing that happened in Greece is going to happen here. The same thing that happened in Venezuela is going to happen here. The banks are going to take a holiday, and you're going to have limited access to your account. I think it was, a couple hundred euros. If you've got 100 grand in the bank, how are you going to feel if you can only pull out a couple $100 a day? It's not going to sit very well, but there's nothing you can do about it. because the politicians let the banks write the laws. I think it's 3 years ago now. And they changed the laws so that our deposits are considered loans to the bank now. So that when they go bankrupt, we go to the bottom of the list as creditors, which means we probably won't get anything, pennies on the dollar if we're lucky. And for the people who think they have FDIC insurance, well, technically you do. There's enough money in that fund based on the amount of deposits today that are protected. 3 cents on the dollar is what you're going to get from FDIC. So good luck with that. Get your money out. Unless you're happy with 3 cents on the dollar. Hell, I'll give you 10 cents right now. How's that? I mean, get it out. Look what's happening around the world. It's as clear as it can be. The economy is tanking. Even the mainstream is jumped on the bandwagon now because they want to cover their butts. It's going down. Don't lose any more than you have to. More fear porn. Virus mutates into now dominant, more contagious form as doctors ponder East Coast versus West Coast strains. It's the flu. Yeah, they've got another one here. I mean, here's another one. Florida suffers deadliest day yet as reopenings begin. And then you've got, listen, in a pandemic, tens of thousands are dying. We just went past, for the world, yesterday, the world death toll on this pandemic was 250,000. The world death toll. If this was a true pandemic and we were 2 months into it, we'd probably be more like 200 million dead. If it was a true pandemic or more. This isn't what they've told us it was. This was engineered to destroy the economy, kill as many people as they could, and blame it all on President Trump, and try and steal the election by using mail-in ballots. Because of course, if we've got the virus, we can't go to a polling station because it's going to be too dangerous. Ignore the fear porn. This is never going to last to the election. There's going to be no mail-in ballots. You're going to have an ID, picture ID to vote. That's all happening. Nothing's going to stop it. President Trump's on top of this. They've been planning this since the day he took office. Well, before that, actually, the planning part of it. More on the economy. Illinois' true retirement costs surge near 60% of their budget. 60% of their budget in Illinois is now just for retirement. You can't survive. Illinois is calling for a bailout, saying they can't survive without a bailout. California just called for a bailout yesterday. Can't survive without a bailout. Guess what, guys? It's not coming. You're not going to get a bailout. All these pension funds are going. CalPERS, California, the state of California, their pension fund, the biggest pension fund in the world, is going to go belly up. They're broke. You can't have 0% interest for 12 years and think that your retirement funds and your insurance companies are going to survive. They need 8% minimum return on investment to break even, just to keep floating. You can't do it at 0% interest. What it makes them do, it makes them invest in everything that's high risk, high interest rate. And then what happens? They hit a loser and they're done. This is over, guys. You're not going to get a pension. Pensions are gone. Probably Social Security's gone. They might save Social Security. I think they might just wipe the whole slate clean. There's talk about, everybody's talk. Well, if this happens, and our pensions are gone and our bank accounts are gone, how are we ever going to get this started up again? The economy. Well, the rumors are that probably what's going to happen is they're going to take what you've paid into Social Security. Obviously, the older people have paid in more, the younger people less, and then give everyone a check based on what you've paid in. And that would give everybody a little bit of startup money, jumpstart the economy. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But I'm not counting on these pension funds. Number one, they're done. They're broke. Pension funds are gone. 401ks. Again, anything on paper. Anything you can pull now, get it in physical silver. What are you doing, Wyatt? Wyatt wants on air again. He wants some more camera time. Not tonight, Wyatt. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Oh. It's now virtually impossible to get bank credit. I was talking about this. As lending standards soar, credit's drying up because they know nobody has any money to pay them back. And they don't have much to lend. So unless you got a sweetheart deal and your credit score's over 700, you're not getting a loan from the bank. And just think what happens now, and this is going to trickle down. Right now, it's mortgages. Pretty soon, it's going to be credit cards. Credit's going to freeze, and that's going to bring everything to a screeching halt again. This can't go on much longer, guys. You got to protect yourself. You need insurance, and your insurance is physical silver and Litecoin. Okay. Tempers flare over lockdown, masks, and money. People are getting nervous. Is all-out civil unrest about to erupt? I don't think so. I think President Trump and the NSA and military intelligence have, like I keep saying, they're going to study this for thousands of years. This plan, how it was executed, it's been flawless. And you just don't do something like this. A plan this big, the plan's been going on for over 20 years. The operation's been going on for at least 3 years, And then it's gone flawlessly. When you look at the scope of this, when it's all revealed in a few months, it's amazing. I can't give them enough credit. And on something this big, it just doesn't happen. Statistically, it's virtually impossible. God's hands are all over this. It doesn't go this smoothly unless God's hands are all over this. I don't know what more evidence you need. No, and then the feds are already investigating Wells Fargo for botching small business relief program. What a surprise there. Investigating big banks again. All right. Let me see what we got for questions. Okay, Ian, how you doing? Heidi, hello. Allie, what's up? Shirley. Danielle, what's going on? Cecil, hello. Tessie, how are you? Stephanie, what's up? Yeah, Terry saying her credit union is only allowing you to draw out $1,000 in cash a day. Think about that. If you got 100 grand in there, how are you feeling right now? Get your money out. Oh, the murder hornets. Yeah, murder hornets next. Come on. Heidi, sister-in-law Heidi, how you doing? Leah, hello. Leah's asking if the FDIC would print more money. Well, unfortunately, the FDIC can't print more money. And you know, we got the hyperinflation problem, so it's not going to happen. You know, you're going to lose your money unless you get it out. Oh, JM Bullion got a fresh delivery of 1 ounce assortments for you guys looking for silver. Gary found some 1/4 ounce silver. Good job, Gary. Tita, how you doing? Terry, what's up? Oh, they're killing, yeah. Cecil's got a good point. They're killing the minorities, and they need the minority vote. Although I don't think they're going to get it this time. Raylyn, how you doing? Jeff, what's up? California's being sued for giving $75 million to illegals, and as well they should be sued. Glad to see it. I think you're going to start seeing a bunch of these lawsuits. Jason's asking about a lawsuit against J.P. Morgan for hoarding silver to keep the price down. Well, they're not hoarding silver to keep the price down, but they were manipulating the price. In fact, I think 8 traders got convicted last year of manipulating the precious metals markets. So there's no question they're manipulating it, but they're not manipulating by hoarding it. I don't believe. They're hoarding it, number one, for customers. Number two, because they know what's going to happen to the price. They know how undervalued silver is. They know that silver is going to outperform gold 10 to 1. Remember the historical averages. For 5,000 years, the historical, it's been 10 to 1. It takes 10 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. That's how it comes out of the ground, 10 to 1. It makes sense. It's over 100 to 1 now. When this manipulation is removed, it's going to snap back to its historical ratio, to its natural ratio of 10 to 1. Well, gold's 1,700 now. What does that make silver? $170 virtually overnight when this thing blows up. And from there, the sky's the limit. Because I honestly believe silver is going to pass gold in price. And the economic experts who talk about these things say that when we go to a gold-backed currency and China, Russia, and the United States all have gold-backed currencies ready to roll out. When that happens, based on the amount of gold in the world today, or what we think the amount of gold is, and the amount of currency in the world, that when we go to a gold-backed currency, gold will be revalued to between $50,000 an ounce and over $70,000 an ounce. Well, if we just take the low number, that brings silver. If gold's 50, silver's 5,000. And eventually, I think silver's going to pass gold because of new technology that's coming out that requires huge amounts of silver. That's why we want physical silver instead of gold. We want Litecoin instead of Bitcoin. You do the math there too. The same analyst who said Litecoin would be worth $3 million in 2024 said Bitcoin would be worth $12 million. So if we take those numbers, and one Bitcoin today is around 7,000 and one Litecoin is around 47, do the math. How many Litecoin can you buy for $7,000? Multiply that by 3 million.
No.
Why does... Quiet. I'm working. Shh. Sit. Sit down. Be good. Okay. I've got a rambunctious audience tonight. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people at JP Morgan that are going to go to jail. But, hoarding the silver, I don't think they're going to get them on. Okay. Roxanne, how you doing? Tessie 2, how are you? Yeah. We're taxed to the max, and it's not going to get any better until this economy blows up. Cousin Monica, how are you? Ray Lynn is asking if I think that what happened in Venezuela is a setup for Trump. Are you talking about there were some mercenaries, some American mercenaries who were just caught in Venezuela? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about Venezuela collapsing? Let me know. Joan, how you doing? And I don't think there's any setup in Venezuela for President Trump. I think they're going to get Maduro. I think they're going to, one way or another, they're going to get him. I think they'll send the SEALs in for him. They won't send mercenaries. I think they'll just go in. Listen, we've got an arrest warrant for this guy. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the SEALs roll in there with Blackhawks and take him down. And the military, I'll guarantee you, will step aside. They don't want any part of our SEALs. And they don't want any part of Maduro. They're going to be happy to see him go. A Vincent Fusca Trump mobile. That'd be cool. You're welcome, Leah. Darren, how you doing? Gary wishes he had 100,000. Oh, well, maybe I'll loan it to you in a year, Gary. Kathleen's daughter owns a home, tried to refinance it. They were turned down with a 705 credit score. The money's gone, guys. Lena got some dimes last night, some 90% dimes. Good job. Rebecca, how you doing? Thoughts on dumping cash in real estate? No. 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 The only way you buy real estate right now, guys, is if you buy it on credit. If you buy it through the banks, then you're going to get a deal. Real estate prices are going to drop 80% in the next few years. 80%. Now, if you have a mortgage on your home and they do a reset and you get your home free and clear, well, you don't care if it drops 80%, right? Zoe, what's going on with you guys? Okay. Yeah, so I would put that, the smartest move you can make there, if you have 400,000, put it in physical silver and Litecoin. Listen, this is the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. That's where you want your money, in the game. Physical silver and Litecoin. Split it 50-50. When do I think the dollar is going to collapse? This year. It could go down any day, guys. I'm telling you. The situation is so precarious. A small bank or a medium-sized bank going down right now could take the whole thing down. Any Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Citibank, Chase, any of those banks go down, the economy's done. The worldwide economy's done. Any of the central banks go down around the world, the economy's done. It's a little breeze is going to knock this thing over. It's so weak. Ann, how you doing? Joni, hello? Penny, what's up? John just got his first silver from JM on Monday. It's a good feeling. That's right, John. Good job. Yeah, that's the other thing. Kathleen's got a good point. You're going to sue these people and spend who knows how many thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on a lawsuit, on a small lawsuit. They got no money to pay you. They're going to file bankruptcy. It's a waste of money. You can prove a point. You're not going to get any return on investment. Carolyn, how you doing? Becky, hello. The best way to keep your silver secure is a good hiding place. Listen, depending on where you live, you got the option of a safe. Make sure if you're going to put it in a safe, you buy a good one and you secure it so it cannot be moved. Some of these safes they pick up and walk out of your house with. So, and get one that they can't break open with a crowbar. And then most of the safes today are that flimsy. So get a good one if you're going to get a safe. But you're probably better off hiding it, burying it in your backyard, building it into the walls, opening your walls up and filling your walls with it, and then sheetrocking over. If you're going to do things like that, either you got to do your work yourself. You don't want to hire a crew to come in, right, and do this work. So you got to be careful about it. And I don't think we're going to have a lot of looting and rioting and civil unrest. I really don't. I don't think we're going to go anywhere near close to worst case scenario. So I don't think you have to worry about people going door to door and kicking your doors in and taking your belongings. I just don't see that happening. So, use your head. Hide it someplace nobody's going to look. Basement, attic. I don't think it's going to be a problem, guys. But figure out your best option and use it. Wade's got a good idea. Merge Australia and the United States with two conservative Christian leaders, Trump and Morrison. Well, we at least get on the same team, and I think that's the important thing. Um, we're picking up a lot of allies, guys, as these countries shift from globalist leaders to conservative, nationalistic leaders. It's all good for the world, guys. Oh, here's a good one, guys. Uh, AppMex has 1 ounce rounds on sale for 18 bucks. That's cheap. Out the door, 18 bucks. Take advantage, guys. Like I keep saying, these prices are gifts from God. There is no way in hell that silver should be $18 right now with the condition of the worldwide economy. If you'd asked me this 2 years ago and showed me the economic condition of the world economy, I'd have told you silver would be at $500 minimum. And Litecoin the same at least. These are gifts from God. Make no mistake. Well, the first problem is, well, I don't know what data you're talking about, but I wouldn't depend on my broker or lender for any accurate information. They're all crooks and liars. Carolyn, how you doing? Well, listen, I'm planning on buying a ton of property when this is in the next 5 years. I'm going to buy several ranches. Um, but the timing is going to be right and the terms are going to be right. The thing about we're going into the next 20 years is going to be a buyer's market. So invest your cash now in physical silver and Litecoin so it grows to the point where you can do the same thing. Bitcoin's almost 9 grand. Man, it's jumped. And it's halving on the 11th. That's going to drive the price, guys. But stay away from Bitcoin. It's still a horrible buy when you compare it to Litecoin as far as return on investment. Allie and Michael, how you guys doing? Yeah, they're starting to hog the show now. They got a taste of the camera and now they want on every night. Yeah, there's a lot of people, Chrissy, that's a good one in your freezer. Yeah, and you know what you do? You really want to fool them. Wrap it up so it looks like packages of meat and put it in your freezer. How you doing, Tita? Happy Cinco de Mayo. Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. Thank you, Tita, for reminding me. Ray Lynn saying the mercenary supposedly sent Trump a tweet. I can tell you right now, if they were our guys, SEALs, they would not be tweeting President Trump when they were on a mission. It's more likely, well, who knows? I'll take a closer look at it. Maybe I'll talk about it tomorrow night. Eric, how you doing? Tina's brother puts his valuables. This is a good one. This is a good idea. In PVC pipe and seals it, caps it, and buries it. Pretty good one, guys. There's a video going around with a pastor who believes everything that we're doing, except he thinks Litecoin are, you're getting a lot of Christians who are trying to to make a connection between Sign of the Beast and cryptocurrencies. It's not there, guys. You got to be ready for this disinformation. The people who hate cryptocurrencies the most are the elite and the big banks, which are basically the same thing. So don't listen to the crap. God showed me Litecoin. That should be enough. Raylyn got all of her money out of the bank today. Good job, Raylyn. Okay, that's all the questions. Not much time left. We've got to use every day, every minute, to get every person we can.
We'll be back. We'll go store.
Okay. All of our last minute prepping, our last minute calls, emails, text messages to the people we want to reach out to. It's probably a good time right now to check in with maybe some of the people you're concerned with, as we get deeper and deeper into this and the cognitive dissonance and a lot of the pedophilia being revealed. We've got to be aware and take care of the loved ones, the relatives, the neighbors who we think are more at risk for things like depression and suicide when this starts getting a little bit heavier, and we're real close to that. No one would commit suicide if they see the world that God showed me. There is nothing to fear from what's coming. Everything that's coming is for the betterment of mankind. Everything that's coming is what God wants. The greatest transfer of wealth in human history, man's greatest accomplishment of defeating this evil that's ruled over us since Babylon, thousands of years now. 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Man's greatest age. Heaven on earth is the closest description I can come up with to give it justice. My words can't describe it the way I see it. It's not the time to commit suicide. It's a time we really should be celebrating. If, again, it's not over till it's over, and we're not going to celebrate until we see that first arrest, that Clinton or Obama arrest. And hopefully that's any day now. And I honestly believe it's any day now. Again, they can't go too much longer if they're not going to create a problem with the election. They can't do another virus, right? This is the time for it. I don't see any other way around it. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. We're going to end it with the Watchmen prayer. For God and country, amen. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.